Welcome to Seat Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com. Welcome to Seat Time, everybody. Brian Pierce here, your host for this fine Tuesday evening. It's 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, so that means it's another time wherever you're at if you're not Central Standard, because math, right? Math is what it is. So Seat Time, we are the online show for the off-road enthusiast. I am your host, Mr. Brian Pierce, and our couch guest this evening is no other than finally 18-year-old Mr. Hunter Neuwirth.
That's me. Crowd goes wild.
I know. We need to really get some, I don't even know what you would call them, Steven, but some drops, some little audio bits to play.
I've got enough shit to do.
Okay, so he can't handle that. Would you like to be our official drop giver to the noise
Drop
machine?
Giver? Sure.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's probably going to make more money in motorcycles. I'm not going to lie to you.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So, for those of you who have no idea, we will learn more about Mr. Hunter Neuwirth. Do I say that right? Hunter Neuwirth?
You got it.
Neuwirth?
Neuwirth.
I like that. Neuwirth. You worth something?
Neuwirth.
Shotgun a beer, Mr. Himpound. Not tonight. This kid is 18, and I've got to show him what a respectable adult looks like while he's trying to race motorcycles. So, obviously, huge thanks to our supporters for this show. Fly Racing at flyracing.com. We're going to talk a little bit more about what they just helped us out with and a new video series that we've got going on with them. Of course, Kinda Tire USA at kindatire.com. If you did not notice, they had some of their guys on the podium this past weekend at some of the races. And then, of course, SRT Offroad, who a lot of their guys... they did have some of the guys at the National Enduro, but, you know, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm on the podium, but soon, I'm sure.
Soon enough.
They do a lot more of the Endurocross and Extreme Enduro stuff, and they do have kind of a splattering, a plethora, if you will. Oh, Stuart Baylor's on SRT this year.
Stuart Baylor.
I'm an idiot. Look at this.
What are you doing?
What am I doing?
And Ron Como's on there, too, and he got 11th overall, I think.
See? I'm
The
glad
National.
that you're here, buddy. Where's
Hey,
Ron Como from? He's from the
Florida.
south somewhere, right?
Florida.
Florida sounds south.
That's right.
You think? Still?
I don't
You'll be
know.
there. A couple weeks, buddy.
That's right.
Couple
GNCC.
weeks. Looking at, I almost did it. I almost literally went into bad world language land. And I got to watch it around you, man.
I know.
gotta
I'm
watch
only
it around you.
18, man.
I feel like your parents are watching right now, just like with
They
a check
are.
card. Every time I screw up, they're gonna be like, "Now this is your rap sheet, you SOB."
Yeah.
Be like, all the things my son does and screws up in life,
Yep.
right here. It's your fault.
That's how it
Apologize now. So, of course, thank you very much to our sponsors. And for those of you that purchased some of the shirts that we had on sale the past 7 days, well, prior to 2 days ago, 7 days, thank you very much, because y'all are supporters of Seat Time too, and we really, really appreciate you guys taking the time to do that for us. What we're going to be doing is we've got them off to the printer already. They're in the works. They're in the process. And so when those are back from the printer, we're going to get all that shit shipped together. We will have them for those of you that will be at the Dallas Supercross. If you want to grab those from me in person, I can meet you on Saturday. It would be bitching if we're all repping that shit. You know, for those of us that bought them.
Absolutely. I don't know what you just said, honestly. What did you say?
I like it. So
I
it's
wasn't
like, oh my God, look at this is the house we're in. This is so amazing, everybody. So, of course, if you have not gotten in the chat room before, tlk.io/seattime is where you can jump into the chat room. And right now, our friend Impound is in there trying to get me to shotgun a beer, which won't happen. But if you want to talk to him about shotgunning beers, he's in there. Jump in there and talk to him with a couple other fine fans. So, again, we mentioned the shirt sale. That was a good time.
Shirt sale.
Biggest thing with that is what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 more throughout the year. So that'll be really fun to do that. What we'll be able to do is have just 3 more completely different designs that'll be fun to have in this kind of fun way to support Seat Time. So you like clothes.
I love clothes. I wear them every day.
Every day. And if clothes have Seat Time on them,
It makes them even better.
it makes them even better. It makes you better because you're wearing it.
That's right.
See? This is what we need to instill in these people's minds. Clothes are good. Clothes with
Seat
Seat
time's
Time is
better.
better.
Yeah, exactly.
Done. Marketing is over. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. So we do have a fun little partnership with our friend Dale Spangler over at Dirt Buzz, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that went on this past weekend. So if you have gone and checked out the Monday Buzz, of course, this will be some of that for you. So we had National Enduro Round 1 kicked off Sumter Enduro, where we saw Grant Baylor take the win. We'll talk with him a little bit about that.
That's right.
And then Russell Bobbitt in second and Jesse Grome in third.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say I'm pretty excited for the results, and it's interesting. You saw Stuart Baylor not have a great run. but do really good at, in a couple winning 2 tests, but still being off the podium in 4th.
Right.
I wonder, and I have no idea. I haven't talked with him or anything like that, but do you think he's fully healthy? Like, the guy is so injury prone.
Yeah, I think he's doing pretty good right now based on all the videos he posts and stuff. He's obviously railing. So.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just, I don't know, maybe after... Actually, probably next round he'll be on the box.
You think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be March 20th for the next National Enduro. Yep. I'm sure they're probably going to hit at least 1 or 2 more races before March 5th, which is going to be the GNCC opener there in Florida. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's all, I think people treat it differently. Somebody like Stewart, I would just go practice because that dude gets hurt so easy. So I'll be like, let's just go practice and get ready. But you get better racing, all that kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but with seeing Jesse Grome, that was awesome to see him on the box. He did that a couple times last year on the beta, and then of course fly racing gear. So not only did he look good on his beta, but he looked fly in his fly gear.
That's right.
It worked.
Oh yeah.
You look good in your fly gear.
Well,
Oh, it's not the gear. It's not the gear, everybody. Russell Bobbitt in second. It's interesting. He was on his KTM 250F. There's a lot of guys who've been riding who have switched to those KTM 250S for 2016.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to know what the magic sauce is in that bike. You're in 2-strokes, huh?
I ride 2-strokes.
That's okay.
I mean, a couple of my friends actually just made the switch too, and because it weighs about the same as a 2-stroke, and some people really like the way the 4-stroke, like how the power hits. It almost makes it feel kind of like a pit bike.
Right.
So you just feel faster on it.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed riding the 250Fs, and granted, I've never owned one. Just the kind of here and there that I've been able to throw a leg over and brap at Brian speed. Which is comparable to a fast turtle. So, you just take what you can do.
Yeah.
But I love my 350. So at the same time, it's like, I don't know. But the 250Fs are so much fun to ring out because it almost feels like you're on a 125 sometime.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fucking power. And then Grant Baylor, who we'll talk to, is excited to see top of the box, National Enduro, AmPro, on the FX. So the whole AmPro Yamaha team this year is on the whole brand new FX line. For the Yamahas. That's pretty impressive. So they're starting to really get, I think, a lot more notoriety than what the off-road team has gotten before. Yeah,
they're definitely getting dialed in, especially with having an off-road, like a series of bikes to sell and to show people like I mean, it's meant for the woods,
Yep.
So it's cool to see another company kind of make a step in the off-road world with having like a cross-country bike, because right now it's just KTM and Husky and now the Yamaha.
Yeah, and it's like you could say that like the betas and the gases kind of have race specific off-road weapons in that category, but it's when it's the big manufacturers like this that it's kind of like, all right, they're paying attention because KTM's done it for so long, and honestly that's what got KTM where they are today, is the fact that they
definitely
really focused on the off-road so much. So it'll be interesting to see how that grows. So with Big Six, the GP on the West Coast, they had round 2. We saw Blake Thompson get first, Colton Udall second, and Robbie Bell in third. I didn't get a chance to see what happened there. Robbie Bell's pretty dominant on the West Coast, so it's interesting to see that he got third.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if we watch his helmet cam or go read his race report, it might help out a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Sorks, now we're going back to the East Coast for Sparta, Georgia. Ricky Russell, Jason Thomas, and Chris Douglas. This is a highlight. These are all guys that you could see at the National Enduro this past weekend doing really well. But instead, they went to the Sorks race in Sparta, Georgia for their winter series to practice more, you could call it GNCC style racing, more single track, or probably more wider single track, hare scramble style cross-country racing. We know that all 3 of these guys are getting dialed in on new bikes. Strangely enough, all 3 of them are yellow, but not all 3 of them are Suzuki. Jason Thomas is on his Lojax yellow Yamaha, but then Ricky Russell and Chris Douglas are now teammates on the Obermeyer Suzuki team. So for Ricky Russell and Chris Douglas doing so well, they're going to be in the XC1 class, so it's going to be cool to see how they could come out from this kind of confidence, in a smaller series, sure, but I'm sure they're getting dialed in on the bikes. That's why
practice is practice,
right?
Man.
Exactly. and Jason Thomas in here. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think these three dudes, unfortunately, a lot of their competition, and if it was at the National Enduro or like in Ricky Russell's case, wasn't there at all. I'm sorry, Caleb Russell's case. Too many Russells.
Too many Russells.
Too many Russells. That's okay. Stop being so nervous, buddy.
I'm nervous, man. It's
Don't
my
be
first
nervous.
show.
Look at that guy. He's just drinking a beer.
Well,
See? That's how much he cares.
I can't result to that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So fly racing. If you guys didn't see that, we did put out our first tip for the trail video. It's going to be a whole series we're going to do throughout the year. It'll be 10 videos that'll come out. Our first one was cold weather riding gear, kind of tips, tricks, and things of that nature. Now, those of you who've heard and listened to the show quite often, I always talk about how much my hands get super, super cold and just fucking go numb when it's like 50 degrees. It's horrible, all that kinds of stuff. So I talk a lot about some of the things that I've had to do and had to deal with while I ride around and all that kinds of jazz. Go check that out. Kinder Tire, we talked about the fact of obviously Grant Baylor and Jesse Grome.
They're the best.
Being on the podium. Are you a Kinder rider as well?
Absolutely.
Look at you.
Dude, Kendas are the best.
Boom. If a Rippa's going to do it, you should do it.
That's right.
And then SRT. Thank you. I kept trying to find news from SRT, but nobody emailed me back.
Really?
I don't know. Well, SRT, we had Stuart Baylor, 4th at the National Enduro. I like it. So we got about 5 more minutes, and we'll go ahead and get Grant set up. How's that looking? Is he actually on board now? All right. It's going to happen. So, Hunter, tell us up.
He may not be at a strip club.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
What? Interesting.
Maybe we should definitely do video. Can we just talk with the lady behind you? Please just set the phone down and pretend like you're having a good No, okay, you're having a good time. Just set the phone down. So tell us a little about this. You did a blog post for Seat Time talking about how you got a chance to meet some of these rascally Texicans.
I like that.
And now that you're down here in Texas doing a little bit of training for GNCC, so talk us through that whole setup.
That whole setup? Well, I met all my Texican buddies at the Tennessee Knockout.
Which you did really good at.
Top 25.
In spite of the fact that you had a crap ton of
flat tires,
stuff.
broken cases, a lot of JB Weld.
That's who you need to get as a sponsor.
Yeah, JB Weld for real. But yeah, I met all those guys. I met you down there, and
it was totally worth it.
Absolutely. And then I got an invite to come down here and train in the winter, and I decided to come down, and I'm working with Mark Weeks, who's been a huge help with everything, and just kind of coached me through. Mark Weeks.
Mark Weeks, that guy.
And then Mark Cook, and you, obviously Rick Nolan, Chuck Long Henry, all bunch of really good guys, and they just want to help me out, and so I'm down here riding and training.
I like it.
Absolutely.
We're gonna keep talking about this, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Mr. Grant Baylor. So, how's the strip club, and is my favorite lady there?
Of course she's there.
Yeah.
She looks fine, too.
I know. She only has to put all that makeup on just so she doesn't look like nearly as much of a man as she actually is. But I make it work every time I go and tip her an extra 20 just to not tell me about that thing between her legs. Right? No?
Okay.
So you're like, yeah, we'll go with that. That sounds awkward, but why not?
Sure.
So, Mr. Grant Baylor, I'm going to do something I don't traditionally do. And even though I have the gift of gab, this is hard for me to do this. I know that Mr. Hunter Neuwirth, who was on the couch with me this fine evening, is super nervous to be on Seat Time. But I was actually going to let him ask you the first question for the evening.
Oh, jeez.
Without any preface whatsoever, just because I like to watch train wrecks. So let's see how this goes. So be ready, Mr. Grant. He might ask you what underwear you have on. I have no idea.
All right. Grant Baylor, what do you do for training?
Well, recently I've been changing it up a little bit and switching it up. I've got a guy that's kind of helping me out, training me. He's actually the guy that designed Carb Sport, which is a electrolyte mixed drink. And he's been helping me with my diet and stuff as well. But I've been trying to do a lot more bicycling and running and stuff like that. And I also do some weightlifting as well. I've been working with a trainer since I was about 12, and doing a lot of football style training, and that's kind of what I've always done. And then I started mountain biking and road biking in the past few years, and then recently started doing even more.
Well,
Right on.
I have a question off of that. A lot of people gave you and your brother a lot of flack, and I don't know if this is a thing anymore. Unfortunately, I don't make it to as many of the races as I used to. A lot of flack on how big you guys looked. And I know from all the conversations we've had that you guys have always trained. You have kind of, maybe you more than your brother, paid attention to the kind of foods that you eat. Well, is that still a thing? I mean, do you feel that you're in so much better shape now, or do you just, now that you're not 16 like you were at the time when all this crap was getting talked about you, you know, that you've just kind of like grown into the man that you are, opposed to the little boy with that awesome weird bowl hair thing that probably gave you an extra 20 pounds?
No, I mean, I definitely feel like I'm in a lot better shape now than I ever have been. You know, I've always been told by the pros, you know, when I was younger, that it takes multiple years to get in shape for 1 year. You know, if I want to be in shape for this year, I should have been training 3 years ago, you know?
Yep.
Just kind of, I feel like every year I just get better and better, and, you know, my performance on the bike just gets better and better, you know, just I don't know, just keeps building, if you say that.
No, yeah, for sure. And I think it's interesting too, like, so you see guys that put on 15, 20 pounds in a year, right? Like muscle
Yeah.
pounds. Not like, oh, I ate too much Taco Bell pounds. But you can immediately look at them and go, they are not doing that naturally. Now, I'm not saying that these guys are like taking steroids per se, but the thing is like, that's not natural. Like, if you were working out, you're eating correctly, you're doing all the right stuff, 7 pounds of pure muscle, like if it's just muscle that you're gaining weight with, is like kind of like the average. 10 pounds is if you're one of those freaks that can just put on muscle really well. And honestly, like 5 pounds is where it's kind of like if you're just like slow at it. So, you know, that's my excuse. That I say I'm all natural and it just takes a lot of time. And maybe before I'm 40, I'm 36 now, so I got 3.5 years, and I might gain a little bit of weight. I don't know.
Maybe.
Probably not. So, Mr. Grant Baylor, you've done really well on the Yamaha. And, you know, you started on the team last year, came in there. They didn't have the FX model out there. So, now that the FX is out there, the whole team's racing on FXs. Talk us through a little bit about the first time you got a chance to be on that FX and the immediate differences that you noticed, and maybe changes that you made because it being an FX, or maybe just because of how you've adapted, all that kinds of fun stuff.
Well, the biggest change, which is probably the best thing about it, is the electric start. You know, I love that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that way you can give your big, manly, masculine legs a break, right?
Yeah, exactly. It is definitely nice having the electric start on that bike, and they changed the transmission up a little bit. So the way I feel like it is compared to the YZ model, I feel like I can kind of just go into tractor mode on it more and like just shift up a gear, and it'll keep pulling me. Where the YZ had a little more hit. You know, it had a little more get up and go, but the FX model just keeps pulling, and I think that's pretty awesome for me, you know, because I'm already big enough. I need something to pull me around,
right?
And I think it's a big help in the enduros, because I mean, this past weekend in Sumter, I felt like I wasn't really on the gas at all. I felt like I was kind of lugging it. Yeah. I mean, compared to my normal riding style. So
what was interesting is all the video footage that I saw of everybody out there. Like, when I say this, I'm not saying that nobody looked fast, but it was amazing how smooth everybody looked. The only person that got just like fucking balls out of shape crazy was your brother in that one video when he came up on that dude, literally trying to blow up his bike to let the guy know that he was there. Scared the piss out of him, and the guy like totally ragdolled, which was hilariously awesome. Not for your brother, and not for that guy. Just the situation.
Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. Right. I mean, I was standing right there watching the whole thing.
Oh shit!
It was pretty good.
Love it. Yeah, I watched it quick, watched it a couple of times. I thought that dude was on a Suzuki and when he hit the tree,
Yeah.
that it was like plastic, like blowing up. And somebody was like, "No, that was just the ribbon." And I watched it again, and then I was like, but hey, it was still damn funny.
It was pretty gnarly.
So the FX. Now we got a chance to ride. Not we, me, and we is in the seat time. Which you could come to soon if you're still here. We got a couple tests lined up. We might be able to get the Hunter on to do with us.
All right.
We got a chance to ride the 250 FX last year when it came up head-to-head with the 250 XC KTM. Loved both of those bikes. Honestly, if I would have been walking out of the door and buy an FX or a bike at that point, it would have been the FX, especially if it was a 250.
Yeah.
But, have you had a chance to ride that 250 FX compared to the 450 FX? And now, obviously, you already said you're a bigger boy. You like the more power. Understandable. And then also maybe the 250X and where that kind of fits in the realm of all these off-road bikes now that, off-road race bikes that Yamaha's putting out.
Yeah, I've ridden the 250 FX as well. And for me, it wasn't as good as like the YZ 250F. It had a little less hit to get up and go, which I need that on a bike that small. So
right.
For me, it wasn't the bike to have, I don't think. But I really want to ride the X model, the two-stroke. I haven't gotten a chance to ride it yet, but hopefully I can get a chance soon to ride it and try it out. I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Yeah, that's the one that I haven't had a chance to ride yet that I was really looking forward to riding because Jason Raines is typically in town for Supercross, for Yamaha demos. This year, not so much. He's going to be in California.
Bummer.
I was like, that son of a... So, we'll be able to ride that thing soon. It'll take us through kind of the day. So you had... Honestly, you didn't have as great of a start, kind of like your brother coming out in 5th, which is your worst test finish on the day. Then you go to 2nd to 1st, 3rd, and 2nd. So very consistent there, from test 2 all the way back to 6th. What kind of happened there in the first test to... behind everybody a little bit?
Well, for one, I struggle really bad with arm pump at every single race. But not so much at Sumter. I just got a little tight in my arms and stuff, so it wasn't bad. I could still hold on and ride my bike, but probably halfway through it, it had been raining down there in Lower State, a lot lately. And everything was underwater down there pretty much. So I came across this road crossing, and the whole road, it's nothing but sand roads down there, and it's just like a pond. I mean, I wheelied across it, and my front tire dropped on the other side, and splashed my goggles with water, got all kinds of water in my goggles, so I had to take them off, and I rode the last half of the test like that, and nobody else really lost their goggles, so I don't know if that was the reason why I fell back, because I felt like I was riding really good in there, and, it's still, I was only... I think 17 seconds off of the fastest time through there, which was Charlie. And, so that still wasn't as much time as I was losing last year in the first test at most of the rounds. So after that, I kind of just put my head down and charged. And in that third test, I knew I had a good flow going, and I knew I had to make up a lot of time on the leaders. And I moved up 3 or 4 spots in that one test. I really hammered down through there and just motoed that test. So that third test jumped me up into the lead, and then after that I kind of just rode smooth and consistent.
Nice, dude. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the goggles because there was one of your friends I think that did the video, put a little video out of you. There was a clip, and I watched it a couple times to see, especially after I screwed up the Suzuki and the tape thing. To see it, I was going to ask if that was your goggles, so that was apparently probably taken there in the first test. You didn't take your goggles off anywhere else, did you?
No, I did not.
Just when you weren't on the bike.
I mean, the fourth test was pretty much a swamp the whole way across it. It was just like 2 foot underwater.
Right.
It was pretty gnarly.
Let's talk about arm pump a little bit. That's something that I kind of deal with. You're yawning because you're bored, or because you're like, oh my god, arm pump? Yeah, I know. Right now, it's
arm pump. Arm pump sucks, dude.
Yeah. So do you deal with arm pump?
Oh, dude,
on a regular basis.
I have it every time I ride.
Yeah. You're 18. How do you have arm pump?
I'm 18 as well, and I get it every time I ride.
Really?
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Well, he just left his girlfriend. So did you have a girlfriend?
No.
I don't know.
So he might not get it as much now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think his arms would be like totally just like what is the Man of Steel, buddy?
I don't even know what to say.
You say no.
You're killing me.
I know it's not like Weeks could take him over to like a Texas bar and be like, "This is my 18-year-old buddy." So, but all right. So, what did you possibly learn from this weekend that may not have been a positive, like something? And it seemed like things went great. Now, obviously, just going into fifth, having a little bit of issues and stuff because of your goggles, that's not a negativity. That's just oh shit, that sucks. So what are some things that maybe went on with you or maybe the bike that you're like, okay, that's what I'm going to work on and that's what I'm going to come back stronger about for the next round?
One thing to start with was the bike. We did our suspension test on Friday before the race, and I felt like my forks might have been a little bit too stiff, but it wasn't that big of an issue. You know, it still handled really well, and other than that, the bike was awesome. Can't complain there. But I think I kind of gave up a little too much in the fifth test, and then going into the last test, I only had 9 seconds over Jesse Grum, and I knew that, you know, I couldn't make any mistakes, so it's a little bit more pressure to ride that last test on. So, you know, it kind of just makes you ride on your toes a little bit more, and then you're more likely to make a mistake, I guess.
Right.
So, you know, other than that, I think I should have just pushed a little harder in those other tests, even though I ran so good in the test before that. Like,
right.
I didn't feel like I was riding that much slower, but obviously I was.
Yeah. Well, I was happily surprised to see how well Russell Bobbitt did, and not surprised in a totally negative way. It's just that I was really excited because of the fact, you know, he had his back injury and a little bit of a surgery, and then obviously rehab it and everything like that. And it sounds like with you and Jesse Grom going back and forth, that Russell kind of came in there at the end and took that second place spot away from Jesse.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jesse was leading all the way up until, well, he was leading after the first 2 tests, and then third test I took over the lead, and then he was second the rest of the race until the last test, and then Russell took him over. So, you know, it was close. I think they were only 2 seconds apart, and everybody was tight all the way through. I think first through fourth were all pretty tight. Back to Stewart.
Back to your brother, your older brother.
Bringing up the rear back there.
Hi-oh. So if bringing up the rear is 4th place at a National Enduro,
It's a darn good ride,
still
man.
a damn good win for me. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about this a little bit while we were going through some of the daily buzz, if you will, the
Daily
dirt buzz. How's Stu health-wise? He's obviously had a lot of injuries and all that kind of stuff. Is he... I guess.
Are you talking about mentally, or what are we talking about?
I don't think I'd ever actually ask you that because I don't want to bring up family drama. I know that that's probably a touchy subject within the family. But, yeah, like physically, you know, he's had a lot of ailments. He's had a lot of injuries, all that stuff. But it seemed like going into this year, we didn't hear a lot. He's been training and riding, getting ready to go. So you would think that he's healthy, but I just didn't know if he's maybe hiding from us or...
Well, I don't know. I mean, he didn't even have a bike until 3 weeks ago or something like that. So he hasn't been on a bike since he was on a bike for like 2 months. And so I don't think he was in that good of bike shape, and I think he'll just get better as the year goes on for that. And he's still got some stuff to work on with, like, he didn't even know what suspension he was running because, you know, the whole PG deal, when they went under, they were doing his suspension. And so, like, the day before the race, like on Saturday, he was out testing suspension and stuff. So, you know, he's been training hard in the gym and all that, but he probably just needs to get some more riding in on him, and I think he'll just get better as the year goes on.
Yeah, I would agree, man. It was it really was intense watching that video. It unfortunately had a humorous ending, right? Where he where he kind of like ran into that dude that crashed in front of him.
Yeah.
But I mean, just that, and that was the most intense so far video that I saw of any of you guys out there. Like everybody looked fast and smooth.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Stu was like on the damn pipe, like
Yeah.
making that thing sing.
Yeah. Yeah, and he moved down to 350 instead of the 450, which is what he was riding last year in the GNCCs, and then last year he had the 252 stroke in the Enduros. So now he's 350 all the way around, and he's going to be hammering that thing for sure. You know how he rides.
Yeah, we do. And so,
yeah,
it's like, oh, hey, Rev Liviner, what's up? Thanks for being here. I appreciate you not letting my bike blow up. So what's your? This was another discussion we were having. Is kind of like, what does everybody do now? Like National Enduro, the next one's not till March 20th, right? But you guys are going to have GNCC starting up March 5th. So what are you going to be doing the next couple of weeks as you get ready for the GNCC that's going to be starting back up here in Florida?
Yeah, well, this week I got a photo shoot tomorrow, and then I got to do some tire testing this week, and that's actually what I was doing today, was testing tires with Kenda. And next week I'm not sure what I'll be doing. I'll probably be just riding at the house, and maybe head down to Columbia, South Carolina, and ride some sand down there, and still be just pounding out sand motos like I have been the past few weeks, and getting ready for Florida. And then I hope to go down to Florida a little bit before the race, a week or two early, and get some riding in down there and get acclimated to the weather down there. I'm sure it's 85 degrees where it's snowing here right now. So,
right.
I'll do all that a week or two before the race, and then just stay down there for the first round.
And then do like Hunter and stay away from your girlfriend for a week so you can work out all that arm pump issue.
Yeah, she lives in New York anyway, so it's hard enough to see her anyways.
Dang. She must be special.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. It's a good time. So the chat room and myself, but I just let it go over because I was going to ask you behind closed doors. But when the chat room asks you a question, you go, well, you got to ask the guest. They said, hey, what's the deal with PG and them closing their doors? Because you mentioned that. So what's the scoop, bro?
Honestly, I don't know. I have no clue, and I don't think really anybody does that I know of. I kind of heard. All I've heard was rumors. That they went bankrupt or something like that, or got sued. Something. I'm not sure what happened. So.
Interesting. So that was part of his program, and then whatever happened, and then so obviously then there wasn't financing for part of his program.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Interesting. Well, there you go, people. We don't have a clue.
Exactly.
I guess it sounds like we're going to have to be investigative reporters.
Sounds good to me.
Dig around the internet and see what's going on. Well, cool, man. Well, dude, you looked awesome. Obviously, being on top of the box makes you feel awesome.
Yeah,
you can
for
only
sure.
Imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, you're like, one day I'll know that feeling.
Yeah.
Especially Sumter, out of all places, which is my least favorite track of all time.
Yeah.
So.
Tell us about the conditions a little bit, because now that you say that, that's interesting, because it's always kind of sandy and it's always tight, right? I mean, that's kind of like what you expect. But from a lot of the pictures, I mean, that looked like some loamy ass bitchin' dirt. So, I mean, was it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all sand, but nothing. There's not any big whoops or anything. There's some small chop and stuff that'll just beat the crap out of you. And then it was tighter this year than I've ever seen it. I mean, it was bar width the whole time, which normally I'm not a tight woods rider. I'm kind of in between the wide open stuff. So,
right.
I wasn't expecting to do as well as I did. And, I think my best finish before this at Sumter was maybe like a 9th place last year or something like that. So, it's awesome to win Sumter and to win the first round of the season. It shows that I've been putting in the work in the off season. So
agreed.
Been paying off.
All right. So electric start. Going to the GNCCs. This is a dead engine start. Is there a trick that you have that you're going to use on the start line?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing around with it a good bit, and the fastest way to get it to start, and it actually starts faster than the YZ. When the YZ's obviously started fast when Paul got like every whole shot for a year and a half.
That all balls whole shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't do it for some reason, but it's whatever. But with the electric start, I feel like I can kick it maybe a half a stroke to like a quarter of a stroke or something like that, and then hit the button as I'm kicking down, and it fires up faster than the YZ, I believe.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk. Now I'm on the 350 of 2015, so I don't have a Kickstarter. So it's just it's all button and nothing. I just get to sit there and look at it if I don't hit the button.
Yeah.
But I've talked to a lot of people and I've tried it too. The whole when I had the XC to kind of do the kick and button combo. Kind of find that thing that works for you, whatever. So glad to figure out that's that's not stupid, and that makes sense.
No, it works. It works good
because you're a professional.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, dude, we really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. I noticed you're in your vehicle, so that's even more dedication to come on Seat Time whenever you're somewhere in the public's eye and you're like, oh wait, I'm going on Seat Time. Nobody needs to know about this. I'm going to go hide in my vehicle and not talk to anybody because I hear that. That's the way I work it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could have done it in there where Stuart was singing karaoke, so it was either there or out here. I figured the fans would rather not listen to Stuart sing karaoke.
Can you take us to go see Stuart sing karaoke?
I mean, I can if you're serious.
That would. I mean, I'm almost in. How about you just send us a picture? Ooh, do a video and send it to us, and we'll make sure it goes on the show before we get done.
All right, cool.
There we go. Because it would be awkward if we walk in there and there's like, some like 50-year-old lady like singing her heart out.
Yeah.
But it's karaoke, so it's okay. And then we're just like streaming it live on the internet, and then all of a sudden we get sued. So it's like, bad idea. Bad idea. Well, good luck. Have fun. Let us know how the testing and kind of moving forward practicing goes. And we look forward to seeing you on the line. Well, vicariously, because I won't be there. In Florida. Yeah. Hunter will be. He'll see you on the line.
I'll be there.
He may still be nervous, so I don't know if he'll actually talk to you, but we'll see.
All right, I'll probably be a little nervous as well. So that's
okay,
cool.
So maybe don't talk to each other then. The day before. We'll call it a Saturday chat.
Yeah.
Good job, dude. Congratulations on your win. And obviously, thanks again for coming on Seat Time. We really appreciate it.
Yep, no problem. Thanks.
Peace.
All
right, Hunter.
What's up?
How nervous are you still?
Really nervous.
Why are you really nervous?
I don't know.
You talk to me all the time.
I know.
Is it because of that jackass back there who's playing with his dingleberry?
Yeah, it's Mark Weeks.
Is it that guy? NTX Offroad?
He's the man. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm like...
Yeah, you're just like, I don't know.
Something.
Does that look weird too?
Yeah, kind of.
All right. Well, let's talk about what you're got going on because you're living in Texas. You're getting ready to do a lot of the GNCC races, right? So you're going to be staying in Texas and traveling out to a lot of the GNCCs?
That's the plan.
It's going to be tough.
Nah, piece of cake.
All right.
It's just driving.
I'm 18, whatever. I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
So Florida. Then you're coming back after Florida, or are you staying over there because of Georgia?
I'm probably going to come back here.
Ouch. Mark making you work that much? It's a bad boss.
Yeah.
God, look at this. So next weekend back in Georgia.
Yeah, I know. But
I mean, it's right there. You're live on the internet. You could tell him you're not coming into work. You'd be like, I'm just going to stay, get a ride to Georgia, because it's just north of Florida.
Well, he's kind of my ride to Florida, so.
Well, you can call his wife and be like, you know how they drove down here tonight when they didn't want to, or you didn't want them to? Well, we're just going to stay in Florida at Daytona Bike Week and then head to Georgia.
Oh, she'd love that.
Yeah, that sounds like a winner to me.
Jenny would love that.
So you're saying you're added attention to their life?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But in a good way.
It's like when our kid grows up, this is what's going to happen.
Just like Hunter.
It's going to be this cute little guy who doesn't realize how much fun he's having in life. So let's talk about Mr. Todd Slavic in the chat room for a little bit, too, because he knows your mom.
He knows my mom.
From back... No, I'm not going to ask. From back in the BMX days.
Yep.
Okay, and he makes the comments about, can your mom still beat you on a BMX bike? So it stems from something. So tell us about the time that your mom beat you, probably multiple times, on a BMX bike.
Actually, within the time that I've been on this earth, I've never seen her ride a bicycle. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, she she used to race with Todd, obviously, and she used to be able to pedal pretty quick back in the day, from what I hear. But I don't know, man. She's never. I
Your
never
mom
see her
just
on a
like
bicycle.
is it like what you need to do? Here you go. This is how you do it. You need to get your mom to come with you to like. Well, at this point, it can't be a high school dance anymore. Like a college thing, like a get together that's in a gym, right? And then pay the DJ a shit ton of money to play "Send Me an Angel," and just like roll a bicycle out onto the gym floor, and like see what happens, and just be like, your mom being a pro BMX. I mean, it would just be magic. I mean, sparks would fly.
Yeah.
And, like,
Oh, yeah.
all of a sudden, like a gymnast horse beam would come in, and then she'd like wheelie off of it. Somebody else with 360. Like, I don't even.
Yeah, dude.
So much rock. I don't even know what
Yeah,
to do.
dude. It'd be sick.
Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Honestly, kinda. Not really.
No idea, but everybody else knows what
Everyone
I'm talking
knows.
about. Wait, what?
What?
Apparently, your dad's asking questions.
What? What did he say?
I don't know. It's very
You
confusing to
know
me as well.
your mom how well. What?
Yeah, it's like words.
Dad,
Punctuation
what?
point. Words.
What is
So,
his mom of Full House?
GNCCs, when are you going to go home? Like, is there a, I got to head home because of this kind of a situation in my life?
I'm just winging it, man. I plan on doing everything from Texas as of right now.
Okay.
I mean, the way things are going, I ride 3 times a week, and I get to train every day in warm weather. It'd be kind of stupid to go back to snow when I got this, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure, yeah. How many people ask you about your accent being in Texas now? Besides Mark, I'm sure he asks you about it 4 times a day.
Yeah. No,
He's like, how do I pull that off? When I talk to the wife at night when the lights are off. I need that accent.
No, actually, it's kind of funny. Like, when I talk to people for the first time, they don't say it, but, like, you can see it in their eyes. They're kind of like, yeah, sure. Like,
you were attractive to me, and then, oh my God, you started talking.
yeah. It's about it's about how it works. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, that's awkward.
I'll bet.
Yeah. Well, I want to see. It's so tough. You being 18. If you were like 22, it'd be so much more of a fun conversation. But let's just pretend this will be
Okay.
good.
All right.
So,
okay.
I mean, maybe you've had some experiences. I don't know. I haven't asked you completely about your nightly rituals as you've been in Texas. But like we have Australians on, you know, like guys with accents, if you will. And every time, we're always asking, like, hey, well, actually, we don't have anybody on, so we can just take these off. So I always like, hey, so
I can dig it.
what happens at the bars? Blah 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 blah. Tell me about your situations, and it's always the accent,
Yeah.
right? You know, like, and then I'm always like, well, hey, would it be the same thing if I, like someone like myself, an American, were to go to Australia and go to a bar? Like, if we went to a bar in Australia, would the Australian girls kind of flock to us in that same manner just because we're the one with the accent now at this point, right? Like, we don't sound like all of them. So, have you had any experiences where strangeness has come about because of your accent? And then how well do you think I would do in New England bars?
Oh, you'd kill it.
I could handle killing it.
Yeah. But as far as me, I don't really have any experience with bars in Texas yet. But from what I hear,
He can't go to a bar, but he could carry a gun legally.
yeah, I can do
Did
that.
you get that yet? I mean, you're here. You might as well.
No, I want to buy a poncho and some cowboy boots, though. And some gun holsters.
What?
Dude, I don't know.
Where did that mantra come from? Is this going to be like your racing logo? You're going to be like the Texican? Like, literally, that's what you're creating?
No.
What is that movie that Bruce Willis is in? Unbreakable. You're like you're probably too young. Oh, buddy. No, it's just like he's like was a maintenance dude or whatever, and he like wears a poncho and he's unbreakable. Okay, yeah,
Dude, it's badass. I'm telling you, the poncho just sells it.
But what kind of poncho? Let's really dive into the situation because
I don't know.
You're piquing
Like-
some interest.
Like in my head, I picture like a, I don't know, just like a bunch of stripes of like Mexican colors. It's like a quilt with a hole in it that your head goes through.
That's not. What is that called?
What is that called? I was
Not a
thought it was a
poncho.
poncho. I don't know, dude.
I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
When you say poncho, I think like rain poncho.
Oh no, come on! I can get those anywhere. But I'm
I
talking.
mean, you're in Texas though, so buying one in Texas is better.
Yeah, that's true. Everything's bigger.
Everything's
in Texas.
bigger in Texas. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
How did it feel driving down in that behemoth of a truck of Mr. Weeks's?
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
He's making up for something, isn't he?
Huh? Killing me.
D&D is a bar. You have been there trying to pick up chicks.
Who is that?
D&D. Do you play D&D? Is that what he's talking about? Do you have like a D&D club in North Texas?
No. I don't think so. No. I don't know. I'm totally lost. I don't know what's going on right now.
Okay. So before we lose you completely, because I can tell you're not breathing as often as you should because of how your biological clock should be working right now.
Oh, God. Right.
Talk to us a little about TK, not just the TKO, but Extreme Enduros and your past with Erzberg and the fact that you're trying to go back this year and the fundraising that you're doing and how you're going to make that happen and make it work.
Okay. So as far as the Erzberg funds go, we're working on a T-shirt from the guys at Jerry Bernardo from Fuck You.
Mm-hmm.
Is
how do you say it?
Fuck You.
How are they not a sponsor of this damn show?
Dude.
Seriously. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How do we not have like a Fuck You poster on
Dude,
this wall?
I brought some stickers.
How big is it? Because that's a big wall.
It's not that big.
We need a bunch of them, and we're going to shape them into the Fuck You logo.
It sounds good.
Okay. Continue your story.
Yeah, but they're actually helping me out with making fundraising shirts. They're supposed to be printed fairly soon. I'm definitely going to post something on Instagram and stuff once all that is all taken care of. But we're going to sell those to help raise funds for the trip, and then also have the GoFundMe page going. Do
you know the link off the top of your head, or an easy way to find it? GoFundMe, Hunter Neuwirth,
the link in my Instagram bio. It's in there.
See how easy this is. GoFundMe, Hunter Neuwirth, 2016. It's the second one you searched for.
Erzberg Take 2.
I like it. So, tell us about what you learned last year and what you're not going to do this year.
Tighten my axle nut. Even though the mechanic was supposed to tighten it, he didn't tighten it.
Right.
But
you're going to double check your mechanics?
Yeah. I really didn't think I was going to have to be too concerned about that last year, but I mean, accidents happen, and that, and there was something else. Oh, yeah, qualify better so you can start in the front row.
Yeah, because there's a big part with that, right? Because, I mean, obviously, if you can do good in the prologue and all that kinds of stuff and get earlier up in the beginning, then obviously you've got less... You probably have, obviously, faster riders, so you would think more talented riders, too. Like, they're probably better in the technical
less
stuff.
Less bottlenecks.
So that means you got, less bottlenecks, less people falling in front of you, all that kind of jazz.
Like, dude, it's crazy. There's, like, literally 120 guys just stuck on a single line hill, and you're just at the bottom, like, you just got to wait it out.
Yeah.
You know? That was kind of a struggle, but it was a blast, and I can't wait to go back. It's just the whole, like, all the fans and the party that goes on the whole week, really.
Tell me more about this party.
Oh, dude, you gotta go.
I know. I'm already feeling it.
Take that pint full of awesome and
bring it to the Germans, the Polish.
The Polish.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point, Mr. Todd Slavic. So we're going to have a little competition, a little friendly wager, if you will. And by no means am I the one that started it. I've unfortunately not even had a chance to go to it. But Todd Slavic, Hayden Franklin, and the crazies that they hang out with, a bunch of trials guys / just badasses on motorcycles, they do what they call Balls of Palooza. And it all started after Last Man Standing died and went away. Right. They would go back and play around on a lot of that stuff. But the big part is kind of like, so it's kind of trials, competition / just being a badass on a motorcycle. So it's like, all
Sounds
right, well,
perfect.
I'm gonna hit this,
Yeah.
and then they hit it, and then like I'm gonna hit this better than you, and then it just keeps escalating until everybody falls or one person's made it.
Yeah.
So that could actually be, and that's in April. When is?
If it's not on a GNCC weekend, I'm in.
I like it. You hear that? Not on a GNCC weekend. When is the qualifying? Is May 26th and 26th. All right. Well, you can make it. It'll be a month before then.
Perfect.
Perfect training. As long as it's not on a GNCC weekend.
That's right.
All right. Well, we need to make sure that you get some more funding going on. So if you go look at the GoFundMe page, and we'll post this tomorrow on Facebook as well and kind of our social channels and bits. He's at $415 right now of $3,500. So obviously he still needs a lot more to go.
Ways to go.
But it's only been a month. But he's obviously got much more time. What's deadlines on paying for stuff and everything like that? Like,
there really are no deadlines. I don't know. Before May 26th.
So like, it's one of those situations maybe where like your family's helping you pay for it kind of a thing, and this is more of a way to like get money to help pay them back for the fact that they've kind of like paid your way to go.
It's actually for flights, and the bike rental is actually taken care of, which is really nice because of the whole dilemma that
happened last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
that's awesome. That's
So
fantastic.
the bike won't be an issue, but still, flights, food, hotels, all that stuff.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive. So
Expansive.
here's the thing. Do 18, right? 18 years old.
18.
Hunter is 18 years old. Is a JDay Rippa. He's obviously putting a lot of effort. He's moved down to Texas to work at NTX Offroad with Mark Weeks, not just as an employee, but obviously to kind of train with Mark and to kind of get some help. Mark is going to be taking him to the GNCCs. We talk a lot on this show about supporting off-road and supporting the sport and kind of keeping people going and wondering why so-and-so doesn't get X ride and all that kinds of stuff. I think this is a prime example of a time when people need to say, hey, this kid obviously is trying really hard to make it. I think this is a prime time for everybody to kind of say, you know what, $20 is totally worth it. If we can get people to realize that, this is one of those situations that you should fund this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we'll be willing to throw out some support for sure. We're going to keep this going. We're going to keep helping him pushing Hunter because I like Hunter. Hunter and I, we did meet last summer. We did a lot of fun at the TKO. He kicked my ass, but he's faster than me and better than me and half my age. So, heck yeah. I mean, that's kind of the way it works, so we'll go with it. But at the same time, I think he's one of those people that's worth supporting. He's one of those people that we've kind of paid attention to since we did get to meet with him and chat with him. You can tell he's a really honest dude, really down to earth, and
Thanks,
somebody that
Brian.
we'd like to see go further. So,
Thanks, man.
no, and part of this is because of the fact that we unfortunately talk so much about why there's so much money in the sport, but there's not so much money in the sport, right? It's one of those situations. So for the sport, it's one of those. It's kind of just to make money, you got to spend money, and at the same time, though, we have to look at ourselves as a collective, less as an individual. So I'm not just an off-road rider. I'm an off-road rider in the off-road world. Yep. So sometimes my $20 going to support someone like yourself is supporting the off-road world. It's not supporting what will then be, it's not money back in my pocket. It's money back in the off-road world market kind of a situation, right? And you're going to go to Erzberg and do way better with that $20 that I could give you than I would ever go if I could try to raise $20 from a bunch of people to go to a situation like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I see it being worth it. And again, I kind of I'm drawn to you in that sense. Like I've really enjoyed the time that we've talked and meeting you at TKO, riding with you and all that. So I have no problem trying to help push and,
it's fun,
and bring that going on.
Yeah, man.
Dad is paying. Good job, Dad.
Thanks, Wolf.
Thanks, Wolf. Is it Wolfie?
Wolfie, that's what he likes to call him.
Should we call him Wolfie?
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you want. He pretty much.
I don't know. I'm really afraid that that's like what your mom might call him, like closed doors kind of a thing. And then all of a sudden it's like getting weird. Like, hey, Wolfie. And he's like, not in public because it's like somebody's talking to me.
It was his Facebook name for a long time, so I think you're in the clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's out of the closet on that name,
yeah.
if you will.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. Well, good luck at the GNCCs.
Thanks.
Thank you for making the long drive haul.
Dude. Thank you, Mark.
And yeah, have fun out there, right?
For sure.
Mark, did you want to sit on the couch, or did you just wanted to? Did you want to look
Come
cute
join.
over there?
Come on.
Rest that beer on
He's
there.
just drinking
All right,
beer.
I like it.
I've been training.
Yeah, as long as you're trading him, I'm
I do
okay with
gotta
it.
say, though, this kid works his ass off, dude.
Good, as you should.
7:30 in the morning, he's sitting there riding a stationary in the shop, making a lake.
You're like,
Making a
what's
lake.
that noise? It's the bike that you got me.
Yeah.
Shut it up.
He does, dude. He makes a lake in the shop floor every morning, sweating his ass off working out.
Fantastic. I'm not gonna tell you where I make my lake. So,
Oh, man.
what's coming up? Valentine's Day weekend. You got
Valentine's
all your
Day.
little Rippa girlfriends.
Just my dirt bike, man.
All right, that's so awkward. You're like walk out there with a little Valentine's Day card. Here you go, sexy.
That's it. And then
Sexies. You got 2 of them.
That's right. I do have 2. One's all apart right now, but I got the 150 up and running.
Did you get the big wheels or small wheels on it yet?
I see what you did there. It's got the big wheels on it right now, but that
Good
picture
man.
was sick, right?
Right?
That
Apparently
thing
it,
went dude.
went all over for a bit, eh?
I'm used to getting like maybe 90 likes on a picture. 1,276. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How? What? This
It's
was
not even a
supposed to
dick
happen.
pic. What happened here?
That would have got a lot more.
Hey, Mark, somebody wants you to shotgun one of your things on camera.
Oh, dude.
Well, never mind. Stay behind the camera. Don't do that by the camera.
Sit down.
He tried and he spilled it, and it's
Go
not
tall
gonna,
boys.
it's not allowed. We have now said no to that.
Who said that?
So coming up after that, February 20th, Super Enduro in Argentina. We're gonna see Cody Webb and some of those dudes coming back to
Yeah.
do racing that. It's gonna be awesome. We have talked with Cody Webb. There were a couple questions we had in the chat room about some stuff, and I asked Cody Webb, and he said yes. So pay attention for after that event, because we will have some things that Cody Webb said he'd be willing to do for fans of the show. Don't worry, his clothes will be on. And then we'll be talking about March 5th and 6th down
Florida,
in Florida. You
baby.
guys will be kicking off GNCC round 1.
Oh, yes.
That's going to be interesting.
It's
What
gonna
class
be
can
a
we
good
ride
one.
in?
I'm running XC2, dude.
Are you really?
Absolutely.
That's
We're gonna
intense,
whole
bro.
shot, too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's intense.
It's not going to be. It's obviously not going to be very easy, but I don't really need easy. I
Right.
just need possible, you know. And that's why I make a lake every morning in the garage floor.
I like it. That's awesome. Yeah, and I think, too, like you've done really, really well at the JDay stuff, in the classes that you've been in at JDay. But the thing is if you're going to go try the GNCC, like you might as well go out and just figure out where you're at right off the bat.
Well, the
Because
main
if it
reason.
goes south, it goes south, but you got shit to work on. And if it goes great, then yeah.
Yeah, and I don't really like. Everybody's gonna have bad races. That's the way that racing dirt bikes works. You
Right.
know, it's just to be able to stay confident and stay committed. Like even when you're not winning, to me, I think that's what'll pay off at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, so that's what I'm doing.
There it is. That'll be good to see, man. I'll be watching the live feed, trying to be like, "Go Hunter!" I'll be like, "Oh wait, I gotta work on something else." An hour later, like thumbs up the camera or thumbs up the screen.
That'd be sick.
I know. You'll feel it. Like, yeah, there's a little bit of Woody love through the internet.
Okay.
Yep. Keep your pants on, buddy. It's not getting that weird. All right. Thank you very much for watching Seat Time. This has been episode 196. Thanks again to everybody that supported all the T-shirts that we had sold last week. Those will be in the mail as soon as we get them back from the printer. Of course, thank you to Fly Racing. You can check out more about them at flyracing.com, Kenda Tire USA at kendatire.com, and SRT Offroad at srtoffroad.com. Do they not make that easy? That is like...
That is so easy.
Yeah. I know. If nothing else, you got to remember all of that stuff is available at all of your local dealers, and that's what we try to mention a lot of the fact is like being able to buy online is great sometimes for deals and things like that, but what keeps the sport alive much more than online sales is just going in and supporting your local dealer, talking to them about what they can and can't carry and how you can purchase it, all that kinds of stuff. So go do that more than anything else. Learn all you need to online and purchase at your local dealer. Handy's in the back room. Well, if you're NTX off-road anyway. If you're other shops, maybe not. But NTX, I know for a fact. Handy's in the back room. Mark Weeks, he uses good lotion. Of course, this is Seat Time. You can find us at seattime.co is the website. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/seattime. Twitter is at seattime_co. Seat Time, just regular old at Seat Time on Instagram. And then on YouTube, we have our channel. You should subscribe. We'll be putting, obviously, a lot more video content out this year, thanks to Fly Racing and, of course, FMF. And then for the fact that Steven wants me to put out more content. So, I will say, yes, Steven, I will do it.
Me too.
He's like, you guys want to come to a Virginia race?
Who said that?
Impound.
Who's Impound?
He's one of the guys that watches the show and comes in the chat room and chat with us.
Well, awesome.
GNCC.
Right?
That's
well,
right.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
true. They'll be up there for Impound. They'll be up there for Virginia GNCC. So you guys will have to check out Impound and say hi.
Most definitely.
Maybe
Come join us, help us pitch.
we'll get
Yeah.
Mark's Weeks to bring some of his tall boy Bud Lights, and he can shotgun one for you there, Mr. Impound.
Wow.
We will do it Saturday.
Boom.
Not doing it anywhere near my camera because I saw him even halfway attempt it, and it looked like it might get the camera. It is not happening anywhere near this vicinity at this point in time right now. So again, I am Brian Pierce. You can find me on the internets at Woody B. Pierce. Where can people find more about you?
Facebook and Instagram, Hunter Neuwirth. It'll pop up. And then, yeah, that's about it.
There it is. There it is. So we will see you guys next week. Not me, not we.
You.
The proverbial we, as in
Yeah.
just myself and
Seat
then a
time.
guest.
Seat time. We'll see you
Um,
next week.
We will see you next week. It's too long of a drive, and this kid's got lakes to make. So we're going to go let him do that tomorrow morning.
That's right.
You ready to do this with me?
Absolutely.
Okay, we do that. You ready?
Oh, this thing?
All right, we'll see you next week.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.